I will be covering the human design subject and how it connects to your life energy and your destiny. There are 5 types. I will cover those 5 types briefly, and then I will be covering each in more details and how they shape your destiny. First, the manifestors, the initiators. They are energetically designed to spark change. They move before the world is ready. Second, it's the generators. These are the builders. The life force types who create momentum. They grow into power through the response and mastery, not forcing. Third one are the manifesting generators, the multi-dimensional ones. They follow the path with speed, pivots, and shortcuts. These are high divergent thinkers and linear problem solvers. The fourth type is the projectors, the guides, destiny flavor. Their power activates when they are recognized, not when they chase. And the fifth type are the reflectors, the mirrors. They absorb the environment and reflect as truth. They have high emotional sensitivity. Human design helps you understand the energetic blueprint you operate with. When you stop fighting your natural design, life feels aligned. When you ignore it, you feel resistance. Now, how human design usually teaches you about your path? First, it is how you're meant to make decisions. This is huge and grounded. Human design calls it authority, but neuroscience confirms people have different dominant processing systems: emotional, sacral, intuitive, and mental. Second is how your energy interacts with others. And the third is what burns you out versus what activates you. This is where human design shines. It gives language to energy dynamics people feel but cannot name. And it teaches what alignment feels like in your body. You're not fated, you are patterned. And when you understand your patterns, you gain freedom instead of fighting yourself. Human design does not tell you where you're going, it tells you how you travel. Now, I will go into details on each type, and I will start with the manifestors. Who are the manifestors in human design? Manifestors are the initiators of the human design world. Their signature traits is they move before other people do. They don't need external permission. They get sudden creative impulses like lightning strikes. They're not built for long-term grind. They are built for sparks. Their aura isn't closed or repelling. It is selective, like a door that only opens inward. They are the trailblazers. Now, how to know if you are a manifestor? You can always confirm your type through your human design chart. Here are the experiential signs people recognize long before they ever look up their chart. First, you've always felt allergic to being controlled. It's not like I do not like the rules, but it's more like I will spontaneously combust if someone tells me how to do something I already knew how to do. Manifestors have an internal motor that moves without external prompting. Second sign is you get bursts of energy that come out of nowhere. And this is the classic manifestor urge. It feels like a sudden idea, a sudden desire to start something, a sudden need to take action right now, and it's not anxiety. It's real creative ignition. Then it disappears. Manifestors work in pulses, not consistencies. The third sign is people often misunderstand your intentions. Manifestor aura is inward facing, so others project onto them constantly. For example, they might say, this person is intimidating, or this person is distant, or they're too much, or too blunt, or too impulsive. When really they're just efficient and don't do small talk for sport. Fourth one is you have been labeled too independent since childhood. Parents, teachers, partners, manifestors hear this forever. You don't listen. You act without telling anyone. You disappear into your own world. Independence isn't a personality quirk, it is a design. And the fifth sign here, you are built to start things, not finish them. This is the painful one. Manifestors get the idea, they start the project, they burn hot, then feel done. That is not a flaw, it is the design. They are the spark, but not the entire fire. What is the neuroscience here behind manifestors? First is a fast start dopamine cycles. Manifestors often have reward systems that ignite quickly. This creates rapid initiation and rapid boredom. Manifestors have low tolerance for micromanagement. People with high internal focus of control and dopamine sensitivity hate interference. The nervous system prefers autonomy. They recharge through distance, not engagement. And they have strong prefrontal activation. They're quick on decisions, fast impulses, low friction around starting new pathways. What manifestors are meant to do? Manifestors thrive when they lead, when they create first, when they inform others, so people do not misinterpret them. They work in bursts. They take action without waiting. They struggle when they suppress their urge. When they try to be consistent like generators, which I will cover next. They let other people manage them. And they don't communicate their moves. How to confirm you are a manifestor? First, you need your birth date, your exact birth time, and your birth location. You can plug it into the official sign of the Jovian archive or another site. It's called My Body Graph. And there's another one called Genetic Matrix. Human design type is determined by whether your throat center is defined and whether it is connected to a motor center, ego, the root, or solar plexus. Or let's talk about the manifestor shadow. Their signature shadow emotion is the anger. Manifestors don't get a little annoyed. They go from fine to get away from me before I combust in 0.2 seconds. Why? Their energy is built to move fast. Anything that slows them down feels like a cage. And cages create anger. It is not at all personal. It is energetic claustrophobia. And again, their common triggers are being told what to do, unsolicited advice, micromanagement, people interrupting their flow, and losing momentum during an urge. Manifestor aura is naturally internalized. People do not feel your intentions clearly, so they project onto you constantly. You might say, I'm just thinking. They hear, you're mad at me. You say, I need space. They hear, you're abandoning me. This makes many manifestors withdraw even more. Not because they dislike people, but because being misunderstood is exhausting. When your energy tank hits zero, you vanish. No calls, no texts, no social media, no obligations. Your nervous system shuts the door and flips the lights off. But you do not announce it. You do not explain it. You just go. This frustrates others, but for you, it is non-negotiable. For the manifestors, you get a massive creative urge. You act immediately. It feels right. Then afterward, you ask yourself, did I move too fast? Did I scare them off? Did I overreact? Should I have waited? You start to second guess yourself until after the spark burns out. It is not because you are not reckless. You are wired for rapid initiation. The regret comes from social conditioning, not intuition. Most manifestors have this left over, the fear of being controlled from childhood. Your biggest subconscious fear is losing your autonomy. This makes you resist collaboration, reject authority, avoid commitments, push people away if they get too close. Not because you don't want connection, but because you are terrified it will cost you your freedom. Manifestors are designed to inform before they act, not to ask for permission, but to prevent chaos in the wake of their energy. The shadow version is you do not inform because people used to punish you for acting independently, because you were ashamed for being too much, because you learned that explaining yourself was pointless. So now you move silently and get misunderstood even more. This is the protective shield manifestors build. I am fine alone. I do not need help. But on a spiritual level, this chokes your creative flow. And if we're going to talk neuroscience wise, it taxes your nervous system until burnout hits fast and hard. You're not meant to be isolated. You are meant to initiate, not exist on an island. Every single shadow trait for the manifestors traces back to one core wound. You were never taught how to be powerful without being punished for it. So you dimmed yourself, or you hid, or you acted without telling anyone, or you learned to mistrust your own impulses. That is the real wound, not anger, not stubbornness, not aloofness. Just a lifetime of being told your natural energy was too much. What are the manifestor gifts? What is their true power? There are traits that make manifestors rare, magnetic, and impossible to copy. You are the only one or the only type designed to initiate reality. The generators, which I will talk next, respond. The projectors, they guide. The reflectors reflect. And the manifestors, they start things. Your ideas do not come from logic. They drop in like lightning, like a sudden urge, a vision, a pull to start something. This must exist feeling. This is divine inspiration moving through you. You are not here to wait. You're here to set things in motion. When you act on your urges, you change timelines. When you hesitate, you derail your destiny. Manifestors shift rooms without saying a single word. People feel you when you walk in, when you walk out, when you start something, when you end something. Your aura is not loud, it is impactful. You are the stone dropped into the still water. Everyone else feels the waves. This is why people react strongly, positively or negatively to you. Your presence activates others. Your autonomy isn't a personality trait, it is an energetic requirement. Your nervous system operates best when you have space, when you have freedom, and when you create on your own terms. Aligned manifestors are not loners. They're leaders who set the tone, then step back. Manifestors spark movement, others sustain it. Manifestors receive vision faster than others can understand it. Your brain runs on leap logic, not step-by-step thinking. Your brain runs on leap logic, not step-by-step thinking. You skip over-explaining. You skip asking permission. You skip over-analyzing. Your mind jumps from idea to action because your intuition is direct. You see the whole picture instantly. Other people see confusion. You see inevitability. Manifestors do not evolve slowly, they quantum shift. And every time you do, people around you shift too. Your breakthroughs show others what's possible, what is allowed, and what they can become. You're not meant to fit into existing systems. You're meant to create new ones that others can thrive in. When you express your truth, people feel braver, people feel more authentic, people feel more alive, people make bolder moves. You liberate others by being fully yourself. That is your medicine for the world. Manifestors do not chase. When you're in your lane, working on what excites you, resting when you need to, moving on your urges and not explaining yourselves, people feel irresistibly drawn to you. Manifestors attract through sovereignty. Your alignment is not about doing more, it is about initiating what is true and then letting people catch up. When you honor your urges, when you inform instead of isolate, when you rest, when your energy drops, when you protect your autonomy, your entire life rearranges itself around your power. And when you don't, your energy collapses inward and becomes anger, isolation, burnout, or regret. So, how manifestors manifest differently? Manifestors supposedly manifest by doing the one thing the rest of the types cannot stand: acting before anyone else even understand what's happening. Let's break it down clearly. Now, according to the human design, the generators, they respond. The projectors, they wait for recognition. Reflectors, they wait for a lunar cycle. The manifestors initiate from internal urges, meaning to start something without external permission. But the important part is the system treats manifestor urges as the catalyst for creation. Within the human design teachings, manifestors supposedly bypass the slow part of manifestation. Instead of I want it, then I journal, then I visualize, and then I align, then I act. They go, I am doing this. And then the universe is expected to rearrange. Their frequency is one of declaration rather than request. In human design, it says people resist manifestors when they feel blindsided. Resistance slows the manifestor's energy. Manifestors do not manifest from emotion. Again, they manifest from urgency. The emotional wave is not their authority, their urge. Manifestors manifest best when the idea comes out of nowhere. When you feel pulled, when you cannot stop thinking about it, it has a sense of must happen, not when you force it out of fear or pressure. What is the manifestor love and compatibility? According to the human design teachings, the manifestor love style is I want you, but also do not breathe on me. Manifestors need freedom above all. Their nervous system shuts down when someone hovers, clings, or micromanage. They pursue fast, pull away fast, and commit only when they feel safe from control. So in relationships, others often think, oh, they don't care. They're distant. They disappeared again. When in reality, the manifestor is usually overstimulated, needing space and avoiding being controlled by not trying to sabotage the connection. What are the best matches for the manifestors? First are the generators, or the manifestor generators are the most natural match, because generators give warmth and steady energy. The manifestors give direction and spark. Together, they create momentum. Second, projectors, because they see manifestors clearly, which is almost a miracle, because no one else understands their silence. No one else. Projectors intuitively read their energy. Therefore, manifestors feel safe being themselves. The third type is other manifestors. Two manifestors together, passionate, electric. It's like two thunderstorms flirting. Is it sustainable? Well, it's debatable. So, what a manifestor needs in love? First is autonomy. If someone tries to control you, you shut down like a glitchy laptop. When you have bursts of energy, then disappear into hermit mode, you need that respect for your urge cycles. Partners must accept this. Manifestors crumble under emotional manipulation, not out of weakness, but because they do not operate from emotional authority and they need space. Not distance, space. If someone cannot tell the difference, then the manifestor will mentally pack their bags. What are the manifestor's relationship challenges? First, people think that you are unpredictable. You act when urges hit, so others feel blindsided. You forget to inform, which causes unnecessary conflict. It's communication. You can go cold emotionally, not because you do not care, but because your nervous system is protecting you from overwhelm. And you move on fast. When a relationship stops feeling aligned, you detach instantly. And the partners don't even know what happened. Now, if someone's system is sensitive to autonomy or overwhelmed, they react strongly to control or emotional demands. So, a need for nervous system regulation. Otherwise, it will affect relationship dynamics. And people with initiator personality traits often perform best with clear communication and space. Because this is a creative driven personality, so this usually means that people with creative driven personalities tend to prefer independence first. Closeness comes second. When a human design says manifestor aura is closed and repelling, you translate that to your brain processes information internally. You move quietly and people project meaning onto silence. Humans fill in gaps with fear. When a human's design says manifestors receive urges from the divine, your intuition fires from your brain's predictive network. Your subconscious integrates patterns faster than conscious thoughts. That sudden urge is genuine internal intelligence. Human design says manifestors are here to start things. Your prefrontal cortex activates quickly. You make decisions before other people even finish analyzing. Human design says manifestors need rest after initiating. Your sympathetic nervous system burns fast. And if you don't pause, you hit emotional burnout. Rest is your neurological reset button. Human design says manifestors must inform to avoid resistance. When you don't communicate, people's threat circuits activate. Their brain fills in the blanks with worst case scenarios. Informing prevents relational panic. What timeline jumping happens with the manifestors here? When you talk about quantum leaps, your brain cannot tell the difference between imagination and experience. When you repeatedly visualize a future identity, your neural pathways shift to support the behaviors that create it. When something emotionally charged enters your awareness, your brain highlights matching patterns. So for the manifestors, your self-worth shapes your tone, boundaries, micro-expressions, choices, tolerance levels. Those behaviors attract certain people and repel others. On an energetic level, you are attracting people who match your frequency. On a neurological level, your brain is filtering people and situations based on old emotional patterns. Shift the pattern, shift the frequency, shift the life. The generators now are the human design powerhouse. Generators make up the largest group in the human design, and they are the ones that the rest of the world secretly relies on without even realizing it. They are the power source, the engines that keep life, creativity, and momentum moving. So, who are the generators according to the human design? Generators are defined by a defined sacral center, the life force motor. They're steady, sustainable energy, the ability to build, create, refine, and master. They have a magnetic aura that pulls people and opportunities toward them. They are designed to respond, not to initiate, meaning their best aligned action comes after something sparks their interest or lights up their gut. There are people whose nervous systems operate best when they follow curiosity, follow excitement, follow a spark, follow what feels engaging, respond to stimuli rather than push blindly. This is tied to dopamine regulation, to reward based learning, to flow state psychology. And generators often match this profile. They thrive when they are lit up by what they're doing, when they can immerse themselves deeply, when they can repeat or refine something until mastery. They are engaged, not forced. The sacral response is basically your nervous system telling you what is right for you. So, how to know you are a generator? So, human design says you are a generator if your sacral center is defined and you are not a manifesting generator. That's a different subtype. That's it. But in lived experience, you might be a generator if you feel energized when doing what you love. If you burn out fast doing things you don't care about. If you feel the difference between yes and no in your body. If you thrive with consistency and routine. And if you build better than you brainstorm. And if you excel through repetition and improvement. If you feel pulled toward things naturally and you detach or freeze when forced to initiate. Generators are basically nervous system responders. Their body is their GPS. Now, I'm going to talk about the generator shadows. So here's where things get messy for them. The people pleasing yes. Generators say yes when they mean no. Because their gut response gets overridden by pressure, guilt, or duty. When they ignore their instincts for too long, they feel frustrated, drained, resentful, trapped, lifeless. Generator signature shadow emotion is frustration. Generators stay in jobs, relationships, and patterns long after they have expired because their energy likes routine, even unhealthy ones. And when they try to act like the manifestors and initiate everything, then their energy collapses. They are built for response, not push. When they're aligned, the generators are extraordinary. They create sustainable momentum. Generators have the most consistent energy when they are excited. They build mastery. They are the ones who can become healers, experts, creators, teachers, innovators, because repetition fuels them instead of draining them when aligned. Their energy is magnetic. Generators do not chase, they attract. People feel drawn to their glow, to their warmth and enthusiasm. They transform environments through consistency. Their grounded presence stabilizes chaos. They are the backbone of every community. Generators carry the energy that sustains growth. So, how generators manifest? Generators do not manifest by initiating. They manifest by waiting for something to show up in their field of awareness, acting only when lit up, following the breadcrumb trail of excitement, letting their energy snowball naturally. The sacral response aligns with somatic intuition, with the brain's reward learning systems. When a generator follows joy, their whole system optimizes. But when they force things, their nervous system shut down. Generators are the builders and sustainers. They thrive by responding to what excites them. The nervous system tells the truth before their mind does. When they say yes from the body, they become unstoppable. When they say yes from pressure, they collapse into frustration. Their true power is not in doing more, it is in doing what lights them. The generators are the energy engines, but when their energy gets misused, blocked, or forced, they move from radiant to resentful faster than any other type. So let's go through the shadows one by one. The people pleasing, yes. This is the core shadow of the generator. The generators often say yes because they don't want to disappoint. They feel responsible for others' emotions. They confuse the I can with I want to. And they think saying no makes them selfish. But here's the truth. The nervous system collapses when they override their gut response. Psychologically, we can say this is overfunctioning, or conflict avoidance, or boundary collapse. The human design calls it ignoring the sacral response. Same pattern, it's a different language. The human design says that the shadow emotion of a generator is frustration, not anger, not sadness. It's a frustration. It is a sense of why isn't this working? Why am I stuck? And this shows up when they're doing things out of obligation, when they are in the wrong job, when they are staying in dead relationships, when they are overcommitted, when they're forcing themselves to initiate. It's what happens when someone violates their intrinsic motivation cycle. When their sacral center is ignored, their entire life force falls flat. So generators stay too long in jobs, too long in relationships, in obligations, in commitments, in roles they have even outgrown. Why? Because they build momentum easily, even when it's the wrong momentum. Probably fear of disrupting stability, attachment to a certain routine. Generators often cling to what worked once, long after it stopped working. The generators can get trapped in believing, I have to work hard to deserve rest, or I only matter when I am productive, or if I stop, everything falls apart. This leads to burnout, resentment, emotional exhaustion, physical fatigue, identity crisis. Generators are meant to work with energy, not against it. When they are misaligned, they use brute force instead of flow. And here's the dark truth. A generator doing what they don't want to do will produce sloppy work, resentment, low energy, irritability, self-doubt. And then they blame themselves instead of realizing they ruin their own energy by saying yes from guilt. This is why human design says the generator aura becomes blocked when they are out of alignment. What does it mean? They are activating the stress response instead of the reward system. Generators often compare themselves to manifestors who initiate fast and the manifesting generators who moves fast, thinking I'm too slow, I need to do more, I should be further ahead. This leads to impulsive action from insecurity, not a true response. Generators collapse when they try to be louder, faster, more reactive, more aggressive, more spontaneous. Their power is in patience, not hurry. When a generator has ignored their gut for too long, they can't feel it anymore. And what are the symptoms? I don't know what I want. Nothing excites me. I feel blank. I feel stuck. These are all equivalent as emotional burnout, decision fatigue, dissociation. Meaning that the sacral in a human design is dormant. And it comes back online with rest, joy, simplicity, slowing down, and micro yeses. Generators do not usually explode, they implode. It looks like passive aggression, irritation under the surface, pulling away emotionally, shutting down, quiet resentment. All of this comes from saying yes to things that should have been a no. Generators fall into shadow when they override their gut, when they stay too long, when they force what isn't aligned, when they confuse duty with desire, when they ignore exhaustion, when they try to initiate instead of respond. But here's the ironic beauty: their shadows dissolve the instant they honor their true yes. Their entire life changes when they honor their true no. Generators don't need radical reinventions, they need realigned responses. What are the generator strengths based on the human design? Generators get underestimated constantly, usually because they underestimate themselves. But when they're aligned, they are the most magnetic, energizing, and impactful type out there. So let's break down their actual gifts. Human design says generators have a sacred motor. What is the psychological match to it? People with a strong intrinsic motivation can maintain energy longer, stay committed, build momentum, and move through long term goals and stay focused when others quit. When a generator says yes from their gut, their stamina becomes superhuman. They don't burn out, they ignite. This is the engine that builds worlds. Generators have a natural ability to hit deep focus, creative flow, rhythmic productivity, emotional immersion, and task mastery. And this is, by the way, backed by neuroscience. The brain rewards repetition. Predictable tasks reduce cognitive load, and repetition strengthens neural pathways. When they're aligned, generators become artists of flow. Generators attract what they want, not by chasing, but by glowing. When they are lit up, people who want to be near them, opportunities start to appear. Synchronicities increase. Doors open. Collaboration becomes effortless. The generator aura is basically the psychological effect of visible joy plus engaged energy equal social magnetism. People trust someone who is fully alive. Generators are natural builders and masters. They thrive in structure, repetition, in skill building, in refinement, in craftsmanship, in long term creation. They're not dabblers, they become experts. Generators rise to the top because they practice, they refine, they perfect, they repeat, they deepen. This is the mastery path in real time. They do bring stability and warmth to communities. A generator's presence can stabilize entire environments. They are the ones who ground the group, who bring calm consistency, carry steady momentum, keep teams cohesive, and create emotional reliability. Their emotional signature in alignment is satisfaction. A deeply contented, grounded, fulfilling feeling that radiates outward, which reassures people, it relaxes people, it inspires people. Generators don't just work, They influence the emotional atmosphere. They don't manifest by pushing, they manifest by reacting to life, by responding to signs, by choosing what lights them up and following what feels alive. This creates a path of alignment far more stable than impulsive decision making. Psychological fact is people make better decisions when their body signals yes. That is the somatic intelligence. And generators have that channel naturally. Generators become magnetic when they are authentic. If a generator fakes excitement, it's a dead energy. If a generator follows obligation, drained. But a generator lit up by something real, they become unstoppable. Because authenticity amplifies creativity and passion, visibility, charisma, and opportunity in the generator. It's effortless attraction. They can transform their whole life by following a single yes, because they do not need massive overhauls or grand reinventions or dramatic leaps. They need one correct yes. That one yes leads to the right people, to the right mentors, to the right projects, to the right timing. Their life spirals upward from a single spark. This is their superpower. So the generators shine when they wait for what excites them, when they say yes when their gut lights up, when they follow their joy, not pressure, when they rest when they feel drained, when they embrace mastery, when they build their life step by step, and when they're aligned, they become magnetic, grounded, unstoppable, energized. Generators do not need force, they need only resonance. Generators in relationships are warm, steady, devoted, and deeply satisfying partners when they're aligned with their gut. When they're not, they become exhausted, resentful, and stuck in situations that drain them. So let's break down how they actually operate in love. Their love style is warm, steady, and devotional. Generators connect through presence and engagement, not through drama or chasing. They thrive with partners who communicate clearly, who move at a steady, predictable pace, who respond to their energy, who appreciate comfort, consistency, and intimacy, and allow things to unfold naturally instead of forcing decisions. Generators love deeply when they feel emotionally safe and supported. Their gift in love is they can build and sustain connection like no one else's can. Since the generators are responders in the human design terms, their relationships grow strongest when something sparks their gut. In psychology, this tracks with somatic intuition and dopamine based alignment. They choose partners based on emotional resonance, a feeling of rightness, and how energized the person makes them feel. When their gut says yes, they open fully. And when their gut says no, but say anyway, they slowly shut down. Their shadow in love is saying yes when they mean no. And this is the number one generator relationship wound. Is this generator generous? Yes. Loyal? Yes. Helpful? Yes. But that generosity becomes self-betrayal when they avoid conflict, when they take on emotional labor, when they overextend themselves, when they stay with partners out of duty, and when they say yes out of guilt or pressure. This leads to frustration, low libido, resentment, emotional numbness, and feeling trapped. Generators must honor the truth, or relationships rot from the inside out. Now, what makes love thrive for them? Based on the human design, generators need these three things more than any human design type. One, they need predictability. Not boring, but consistent. safe, steady, emotionally reliable. 2, they need the spark, not chaos, but enthusiasm. Generators bloom with partners who bring out their joy. 3rd is reciprocity. They give a lot. They need partners who give back. Generators don't do well in avoidant dynamics, or hot and cold cycles, or people who do not communicate, or almost relationships, or emotionally unavailable partners. The nervous system hates it. So, how generators express love? They show love through presence, through their time, through their consistency, through their effort, through their physical affection, through their shared routines and doing things together. They ground their partners emotionally. Generators make their relationship feel like home. Now, how do they receive love best? So, what opens a generator's heart? Direct communication, appreciation, touch, attention, emotional warmth, seeing their effort, being patient with their slow warming up. Their deepest need is to feel that their energy is valued, not used. So, how generators manifest love? Generators attract the right partner by doing what lights them up, by following excitement, by saying no to draining situations, by letting the relationships come to them instead of chasing, by trusting their gut response. This aligns with the somatic confidence and secure attachment behaviors and attraction through authenticity and their nervous system alignment. So when a generator is excited by their own life, they become radiant and love finds them naturally. And aligned generators are loving, present, reliable, sensual, consistent. Misaligned, resentful, frustrated, drained, overgiving, and stuck. Their entire relationship health depends on one thing only. Only say yes when it's a real yes. Generators do not manifest through force, hustle, or make it happen energy. They manifest through alignment, sustained engagement. This is how their nervous system actually works. So the generator manifestation core principle is response first, action second. The human design says generators must wait to respond. And that translates into their decision come from somatic intuition, not mental pressure. And their body gives a yes-no signal before their mind explains it. This is basically embodied cognition. When a generator tries to manifest by initiating, I should do this, they flatline. When they respond to something that genuinely lights them up, I want this, they explode with energy. So if something energizes the generator, excites them, makes their chest open, makes their gut expand, then their brain is telling them this is worth pursuing. But if something drains them, tightens their body, sparks dread or feel heavy, then the brain is signaling this is misaligned. Stop. Why generators burn out when they initiate? When they try to push or force outcomes, chase people, hustle, start a project they don't really want, they use executive energy instead of intrinsic energy. And the result is exhaustion and frustration, inconsistent momentum, self-doubt. How do generators actually call things in? Step 1, do what lights you up. Activate that dopamine. Your energy rises, your body opens, your aura brightens. Step 2, this raises your social magnetism. People start to notice you, opportunities appear, and your energy becomes attractive. Step 3, you respond to what excites you, and this amplifies your momentum. Step 4, momentum leads to breakthroughs. These are your superpower. Now, what is their mistake? When they say that they are stuck. Generators sabotage their manifestation when they say yes out of guilt, when they stay in draining jobs, when they stay in toxic relationships, when they prioritize duty over desire, when they override their gut, when they chase things instead of responding, when they try to force manifestation, when they pretend excitement that they do not feel. The moment they do this, their sacral collapses. Their reality stops moving. and life feels heavy and stagnant. What is the cure? It's a radical honesty with their gut response. So, this is the generator manifestation formula. Notice what lights up your body. Follow the spark, even if it's small. Act only when your gut says yes. Say no immediately when your energy drops. Respond to life instead of forcing life. Build momentum through excitement, not pressure. And let satisfaction be the compass. Generators are at their best when they stop forcing life and start responding to what genuinely lights them up. Their energy is not made for pressure, people pleasing, or performing. It is designed for satisfaction, flow, and consistency. When they honor their gut response, everything aligns. Their work becomes fulfilling, their relationships deepen, and their manifestation actually works. When they ignore their gut, they fall into frustration, burnout, and stuckness. Generators do not need more effort, they need more truth. Yes when it's a real yes, and no when it's a real no. That is their entire blueprint. Simple, powerful, and life-changing. Manifesting generators are the wildfire. Manifesting generators are the fastest and most non-linear, most unpredictable type in human design. They are like multitasker, shapeshifter, sprinter, innovator. It's like I'll do 3 things at once and still get bored energy. They are half manifestors and half generators. So they have the sacral energy of the generator and the initiating spark of the manifestor. Yet, neither system fully explains them alone. They're fully hybrid. So let's start with the essentials. They have a defined sacral center. It's a consistent energy. And a motor connected to the throat center, the manifestor influence. So they respond first, like the generator. They initiate fast, like a manifestor. They move in zigzags, like no one else. They are non-linear by design. These people typically display rapid cognitive switching, novelty seeking, high creative drive, low tolerance for boredom, strong dopamine sensitivity, improvisational thinking, fast learning, fast changing, and fast redirecting. Their nervous system is a Ferrari. The generators are the reliable Jeep. The projectors are the Tesla, intelligent and efficient. Manifestors are the motorcycle. So, manifesting generators, they are the whole racing team. In a human design says, manifesting generators learn by skipping steps. Meaning, they don't follow traditional processes. They jump ahead. They learn by doing wrong first. They pivot constantly. And they change direction midstream. What does that mean psychologically here? They have a trial and error cognitive style. They're wired for speed, experimentation, and flexibility. The manifesting generators' brain loves novelty. Neuropsychology calls this dopaminergic novelty craving, high openness to experience, and fast associative thinking. Meaning they need variety. Routine suffocates them, and they get bored quickly. They need multiple outlets to thrive. They often excel in hybrid careers or non-linear paths. The manifesting generators need freedom like air. Manifesting generators' energy signature is fast, skipping aura. In psychology, their behavior rhythm is bursty, not steady. They move like this: fast engagement, rapid momentum, sudden redirection, intense focus, quick burn, total pivot, new passion, repeat. It confuses everyone except others. Manifesting generators. Now, what are the manifesting generators' shadow traits? They are impatient. They hate waiting, even for their own body signals. They skip too many steps. They sometimes cut corners that actually matter. They quit too fast or stay too long. And yes, both extremes. They feel misunderstood. People think they are unreliable. They're not. They're just fast. They have a shame about changing directions. Society teaches manifesting generators to pick one thing, but they are literally not built for that. Now, what are their gifts when aligned? When aligned, they are ridiculous efficiency. They can do in 1 hour what takes others 4. Multi-path mastery. They can combine skills no one else would ever think to mix. They have creative innovation. They bring new ideas because they zig where others zag. They have rapid manifestation momentum. Once their sacral lights up, reality bends quickly. And they have energetic magnetism. Their excitement is contagious. Now, how manifesting generators make decisions usually? First, they respond. And this is the correct strategy how they should be making decisions. Step 1, they should respond. Wait for the gut, not the mind, not the impulse, not the boredom. Second, they initiate. Once the sacral says yes, they move at warp speed. 3, then they pivot here freely. Their path unfolds through rapid corrections. Manifesting generators do not follow a straight line. They follow the fastest line. Their manifestation is fast. Their manifestation is nonlinear, experimental, instinct-driven, curiosity-led. The nervous system thrives with excitement, freedom, novelty, improvisation. And they manifest best by responding to sparks, by acting immediately, by letting themselves redirect, not forcing consistency, and not judging their speed. Manifesting generators do not climb ladders. They jump floors. The manifesting generators are multi-passionate. They are fast-moving creators whose power lies in their ability to pivot, innovate, and move through life with enthusiasm instead of logic. They're not supposed to be linear. They're not supposed to slow down. They're not supposed to choose one thing. When they honor their gut response and allow themselves to move quickly, their life becomes electric. Manifesting generators are the most misunderstood type because their shadow look like flaws. But they're actually side effects of a high-speed nervous system running in the wrong lane. Here's a breakdown. One of their shadows is impatience that ruins their alignment. Manifesting generators feel time differently. Their brain fires fast. Their body moves fast. Their intuition hits fast. So when life moves slowly, they spiral. So the shadow signs here, jumping into commitments too early, forcing action instead of responding, interrupting people, quitting before clarity emerges, and making decisions from boredom, not alignment. The real issue is their mind gets ahead of their gut. Now, what is the psychology equivalent to this? It's impulsivity, it's urgency response, and it's a reward system overstimulation. Manifesting generators sabotage themselves by acting before the sacral says yes. The second shadow is they start 100 things and finish nothing. Manifesting generators are idea factories. The problem is they confuse inspiration with commitment. And their shadow patterns is overcommitting when excited, abandoning projects suddenly, losing interest quickly, feeling shame for not finishing, and disappointing themselves and others. The human design translates this into they are designed to pivot. They just haven't learned to pivot consciously. The third shadow is skipping too many steps. The manifesting generators are famous for skipping steps, sometimes brilliantly, and sometimes catastrophically. The shadow version is rushing, cutting corners, missing crucial details, misunderstanding instructions, having to redo things, getting frustrated at inefficiency they caused. Why does this happen? Their brain works through intuitive leaps, not linear steps. But reality isn't always designed for intuitive leaps. The foreshadow, shame around changing direction. Manifesting generators grow up hearing, pick one thing, stick to your path, stop being inconsistent. Why can't you finish anything? But they internalize guilt, shame, self judgment, and this leads to staying in misaligned relationships, staying in dead careers, forcing themselves into routines that suffocate them, and suppressing their natural speed. The world punishes manifesting generator flexibility, but that's literally their gift. The fifth shadow is anger with frustration combo. This is the manifesting generator meltdown. Now, the generators feel frustration. The manifestors feel anger. Manifesting generators feel both. The shadow emotional cycle is their sacral says no, their mind says do it anyway, the frustration builds, they push harder, the anger erupts. And because manifesting generators move fast, the meltdown hits fast. They go from I'm fine to everyone needs to get out of my way in under 0.5 seconds. True. It is not personal, it is misalignment. The sixth shadow is quitting things that are aligned. This one hurts the most. Manifesting generators often quit things that are aligned because boredom hits, because someone triggers their impatience, because the growth slows, because fear of commitment arises, because they misinterpret temporary stagnation as wrong path. They confuse plateau with wrong. This destroys long-term success patterns. Seventh shadow, feeling misunderstood all the time. Manifesting generators here, slow down, be realistic. Why can't you focus? Why did you change your mind again? This creates isolation, overthinking, emotional shutdown, self-suppression, and resentment. Manifesting generators often feel like aliens in a world too slow for them. Eighth shadow is moving too fast for their own life. Manifesting generators outrun their own clarity. When this happens, they attract chaos. They make promises they cannot keep. They confuse their partner. They take on too much. And they overwhelm their nervous system. Life becomes a blur instead of a build. This shadow destroys relationships, careers, and self-trust. The manifesting generators fall into shadow when they act from impatience, when they override their sacral response, when they shame themselves for changing, when they chase excitement without grounding, when they skip steps that matter, when they quit too fast or stay too long, and when they force instead of respond. Their shadows are not flaws. They are signs that they are not following their unique energetic rhythm. Manifesting generators are not built to be consistent. They are built to be responsive, fast, flexible, and non-linear. When they embrace that, the shadows dissolve. The manifesting generator's strengths are the following. Manifesting generators shine in ways no one or no other type can replicate. They are fast, they are multidimensional, they're efficient and widely creative when they stop trying to be linear and let their natural wiring lead. Here are their actual gifts. First one is speed. This is the fastest energy type in the human design. Manifesting generators move at a pace that terrifies everyone else. But here's the real world translation to it. Manifesting generators have rapid associative thinking. They have high dopamine sensitivity and quick cognitive switching and strong decisional adaptability. And this allows them to execute ideas fast, problem solve instantly, learn quickly, pivot before things fall apart. They are wired for momentum. Second strength is efficiency. They take the shortest path instinctively. Human design says manifesting generators skip steps. What does it mean psychologically? They are intuitive heuristics, quick pattern recognition that cuts wasted effort. Their strength is seeing shortcuts, building systems faster, optimizing processes without training, finding the most efficient solution naturally, and mastering tasks with less repetition. Where others grind, manifesting generators glide. Third strength is the multidimensional creativity. Manifesting generators don't just create, they combine. They blend skills, passions, careers, roles, talents, identities, and produce something new. Psychologically, this means they have high openness to experience, meaning, and divergent thinking. This makes them innovators, polymaths, multi-hyphenate creators, entrepreneurs, and intuitive problem solvers. Manifesting generators are walking Renaissance souls. Their fourth strength is magnetic aura. Generators attract through warmth. Manifestors attract through impact. Manifesting generators attract through electric enthusiasm. Their excitement is contagious. Social psychology calls this affect contagion, emotional resonance, and charisma amplification. When a manifesting generator talks about something they love, the whole room lights up. The fifth strength is adaptability, and they pivot without fear. Their ability to shift direction quickly is not a flaw, it is a major gift. Their strength is instant recalibration, rapid problem solving, moving out of bad situations fast, shifting strategy mid action, and responding to life dynamically, which makes them unstoppable in entrepreneurship, in crisis management, in creative fields, and in leadership during change. They don't crumble under uncertainty, they thrive in it. The sixth strength is they learn fast and unconventionally. Manifesting generators do not learn by step instruction or repetitive drills or slow accumulation. They learn by jumping in, by doing, by failing quickly, by correcting instantly, and trying again. Repeat. This is the brain's trial and error optimization process. And manifesting generators master it naturally. They absorb the skills 4 times faster when allowed to move in their nonlinear style. Seventh strength is they combine the generator's power with the manifestor's drive so they can start things quickly, build things consistently, sustain effort when aligned, break through plateaus, and take ideas from spark to execution. This hybrid strength creates exponential potential. Eighth one is they bring innovation into the collective. Manifesting generators based on the human design are often the first to try new things, to adopt trends, to experiment with ideas, to innovate systems, to disrupt stagnant structure. They are evolutionary forces. They don't follow the future, they pull it forward. They are designed to be multi-passionate without apology. Manifesting generators are not meant to stick to one thing, or choose one path, or commit prematurely, or be predictable, or fit into narrow boxes. Their genius emerges when they embrace all their passions. Their multidimensional identity becomes their brand, their power, and their calling. Manifesting generators do not succeed by committing to one lane. They succeed by creating their own highway. How they are in love and relationships. Manifesting generators love fast, shift fast, and come alive in relationships that let them be their full multidimensional selves. Their love style is passionate, dynamic, intuitive, but it only works when they stop forcing themselves into linear romantic norms. Let's break down their actual patterns. Manifesting generators often feel an instant click with people, and their energy pulls others in through intensity and enthusiasm. Psychologically, this mirrors novelty seeking, fast dopamine response, high emotional attunement, and intuitive decision making. When they feel excitement, they move toward the relationship quickly. But when the excitement dies, their energy shifts fast too. This doesn't make them inconsistent, it makes them responsive. Manifesting generators cannot thrive in relationships that suffocate them with routine, predictability, strict expectations, and emotional monotony. They need freedom to explore, they need space for spontaneity, they need permission to evolve, and a partner who adapts with them, and relationships that feel alive. When they feel trapped, their sacral shuts off. When they feel free, they become unbelievably loving. Manifesting generators do not cling to history or to the past. They cling to potential. They are attracted to growth. They're attracted to movement, possibility, evolution, expansion. A relationship that doesn't grow becomes dead energy for them. The psychological version of it means that they need novelty with instability, which means a blend of consistency with exploration. Their shadow in love is quitting too fast or staying too long. Manifesting generators are famous for these two extremes. Quitting too fast because boredom hits, fear of commitment triggers, or they think the spark is gone, or they confuse plateau with misalignment, or they stay too long because shame for changing their mind. They feel guilt or pressure to be consistent, or hoping that joy will come back. Manifesting generators need to learn the difference between this is boring and this is misalignment, because they are not the same. They love best when they are lit up outside the relationship. Manifesting generators need a life of creative outlets, of hobbies, of multiple interests, of dynamic routines, of ongoing excitement. If the relationship is their only source of stimulation, it gets heavy fast. Their partner must understand that when a manifesting generator is fulfilled outside, they come into love more generously. Now, how do they give love? They show love through enthusiasm, shared adventures, spontaneous affection, deep conversation bursts, variety, bringing joy into the relationship, trying new things. They treat their partner like a co-adventurer, not a co-worker. So how do they receive love? They need partners who keep up energetically or emotionally, who respect their rapid shifts, who don't shame them for changing, who allow flexibility and communicate openly and stay curious, and who support their passions. And the number one way to lose manifesting generators? Tell them to pick one thing. In conflict, their frustration spikes, their anger ignites, they want quick resolution, they hate repeating issues, and they dislike slow conversations. They need partners who communicate directly, allow space for quick processing, and do not force slow-paced emotional analysis, and don't take their intensity personally. Manifesting generators cool down as quickly as they fire up. Now, what are the manifesting generators' relationship green flags? They thrive with partners who celebrate their multidimensional nature and give them freedom, welcome change, grow alongside them, appreciate their speed. Let them experiment and don't box them in. Match joy with joy. Don't mistake their pivots for disinterest. Manifesting generators love passionately and intuitively. They thrive with partners who embrace change, support their creativity, and move with their nonlinear rhythm. When aligned, they bring joy, adventure, spontaneity, and magnetic love into a relationship. When misaligned, they fall into impatience, inconsistency, and burnout. And their romantic gift is they show their partner how alive love can feel. Manifesting generators, manifestation, is fast, nonlinear, energetic, and responsive. The issue is when manifesting generators try to manifest like manifestors, they short circuit. When they try to manifest like the generators, they get bored. They need a hybrid method that honors their speed, creativity, and internal wiring. They must respond first, then initiate. This is the number one rule manifesting generators break. If they see something, feel something, think of something, or get a spontaneous idea, their mind wants to jump. But their sacral hasn't spoken yet. If they skip the response step, they manifest from impatience, not alignment. So the correct order is first, if something appears in their field, let it. Step 2, wait for the sacral to give the go for it, and then initiate like a manifester. This is the hybrid magic. Why this works? A manifesting generator has two competing systems: the dopamine reward, which is coming from the generator, and the impulsivity and the rapid action coming from the manifester. When they respond fast, their nervous system produces dopamine, clarity, and somatic motivation. This activates sustained energy. When they skip the response, they produce adrenaline, anxiety, and chaotic decision patterns. This is why the manifesting generator burn out or abandon projects midway. The nervous system collapses without a sacral yes. They need to wait for that sacral yes. So once the sacral locks in, manifesting generators manifest fast. Once they get a true yes, they move at lightning speed. This is where their manifestor electricity kicks in. Ideas unfold instantly. Synchronicities pop up. People appear. Pathways open. Momentum snowballs. Manifesting generators' manifestation is exponential, not linear. They don't climb staircases. They teleport between floors. The manifesting generator manifestation formula is the following. 1, open your field. Manifesting generators need exposure before clarity. Scroll, explore, observe, brainstorm, experiment. Have those options before responding. 2, wait for the sacral spark. It feels like excitement, energy rising, internal a pull, a curiosity spike, a physical opening. If it's not a yes, it is a no. If it's meh, it's a no. If it's I should, it's a no. 3, initiate instantly. Once the sacral lights up, start the project. Send the message. Take the action. Claim the opportunity. Move fast so you don't lose momentum. 4, pivot as needed. Manifesting generators must pivot without shame. They refine the path through motion, not before motion. 5, drop what drains you. The generator part needs satisfaction. If satisfaction disappears, release the path. Letting go is part of the manifestation for the manifesting generators based on the human design. And 6, follow the next spark. Manifestation for the manifesting generators unfolds like yes, action, pivot, again yes, action, breakthrough. This is your non-linear genius. So what the manifesting generators must stop doing? The most common manifestation mistakes are forcing consistency, initiating from the mind, ignoring their sacral, sticking to dead ideas, doing what should be done, saying yes out of guilt, judging their own pivots, trying to be predictable. Manifesting generators are not defined by consistency. They are defined by alignment and speed. And this is how manifesting generators attract opportunities. It comes from their enthusiasm, from their passion, energy, creativity, emotional openness, and visible curiosity. People are drawn to a manifesting generator's excitement because your energy is contagious when it's real. When you fake excitement, your aura is dead. It's very simple. Manifesting generators' emotions are direct signals of alignment. Manifesting generators are built for quantum leaps, not step-by-step ladders. So manifesting generators are not here to move slowly, to stay in one lane, or pretend to be linear humans with linear desires. Their entire design is built around speed, adaptability, creativity, and constant evolution. They manifest best when they respond first, when they initiate fast and pivot freely without apologizing. Their power comes from following what excites them, not what others expect from them, and letting momentum carry them forward instead of forcing consistency. When a manifesting generator stops shaming their speed and start embracing their multi-passionate nature, everything clicks. Their work accelerates, their relationships deepen, and manifestation becomes effortless. Their entire blueprint is simple. Follow the spark, move fast, pivot often, trust the energetic momentum. Now, the projectors. How to know if you are a projector? According to the human design, you are a projector if your chart shows no defined sacral center and no direct motor. What I mean by that is the ego, solar plexus, the root to the throat center here. That's it. What projectors are basically designed for? They are guides, they are leaders, advisors, and seers of others. They're focused and absorbing. They see into people deeply. They understand systems, patterns, and motivation. Their energy is about direction, not raw output. Projectors are said to have inconsistent energy because they lack the sacral battery. What does that mean? They don't thrive in a 9-to-5 structure. They burn out faster. They need more rest. They work best in bursts. They grow through mastery, not hustle. This is probably the most misunderstood part. Does not mean that they wait around doing nothing or avoid opportunities or act powerless. It means that the projector's influence lands best when people are open to it. From a psychological standpoint, people listen when they feel ready, and influence works better when invited. Insight lands deeper when there's receptivity. The projector's strengths are the following. They have deep perception. They notice what others miss. They see the fastest route, not the hardest. They can decode patterns in people and systems. They make others more effective, not by force, by clarity. They have a high magnetism. Projectors attract when relaxed, not when chasing. Now, what are the projector shadows? Meaning, there are some traits that show up when the projectors are misaligned. Bitterness, overworking, trying to prove themselves, not feeling seen, giving unsolicited advice, burnout, and feeling invisible. Projectors often resonate with sensitivity, which aligns with real neuroscience. Highly perceptive individuals have more active mirror neurons and deeper attunement to other people's emotional states. You might feel like a projector if you get drained by full-time work, if you thrive when you guide others, if you feel seen only by certain people, if you wait for clarity before acting, if you understand people quickly, prefer mastery over multitasking, if you feel bitterness when unrecognized, and if you get downloads about people or systems. Projectors have one of the most misunderstood energy signatures in human design. When they are aligned, they are brilliant. When they're not, they start spiraling in ways that feel invisible even to themselves. So let's break it down. The projector shadow emotion is bitterness. Why? Because the projector lives with a constant internal whisper. Why don't people see what I see? Why don't they listen? Why do I always feel overlooked? The bitterness shows up when you are giving advice no one asked for, when you feel unrecognized, when you're working harder than others, for less reward, and when you are mentally exhausted from carrying everyone's problems. Projectors absorb people. They see motivation, flaws, intentions, and patterns instantly. Now, what is the shadow version of that? They overread everything. Projectors detect threats that are not there, assume responsibility for everyone's emotional state. They try to fix things before anyone asked, overanalyze micro expressions, and spiral trying to understand why someone behaved a certain way. Projectors' gift becomes a burden when it lacks boundaries. Projectors often slide into, let me tell you what you need. So people can see the projectors are as arrogant, not because the projector is arrogant. No, it's because the projector genuinely see the solution. But when people are not ready, they ignore you. They resist, they get annoyed, they push back. This feels the bitterness loop. No one appreciates what I offer, the projector says. Projectors have something called the invisibility complex. This is one of the deepest projector wounds. Shadow projectors feel unseen, unheard, misunderstood, undervalued, passed over. The internal narrative becomes, if they do not recognize me, I must not matter. Then, as a projector, you shrink, you dim, you stop showing your gifts. And this creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. Projectors are not built for raw output. They are built for strategy, for insight, refinement, and direction. But when they try to keep up with the generator or the manifesting generator speed, they crash. The shadow version looks like exhaustion, emotional depletion, brain fog, resentment, feeling used, feeling like you're failing as a projector. Well, psychologically speaking, people with advisory or empathic traits burn out faster in high demand environments. Now, when unrecognized, projectors often work harder, overgive, overhelp, prove themselves, and chase validation. This creates the exact dynamic that drains them. If I keep giving, eventually someone will see my worth. But giving without invitation creates more rejection, not acknowledgement. And because projectors absorb people deeply, they often merge emotionally, take responsibility for others' feelings, internalize other people's problems. They feel drained after social interaction, and they confuse empathy with obligation. The shadow version would be like, well, I carry everyone else's baggage until I collapse. Their deepest fear is being too much. Projectors hold back their brilliance because they are scared of overwhelming people, of being rejected, of seeming arrogant, us coming off as controlling. They're not. Of making someone uncomfortable. So they dim their gifts, then feel resentful, then collapse into silence. Painful cycle. The core projector shadow wound is when they have this internal belief, my value depends on whether people see me. And that belief shapes every form of burnout, bitterness, or invisibility. Projectors do not have strong energy. They have highly refined, laser-like perception. They're the type everyone misunderstands until they finally see them in their element. And these are the gifts that make projectors unforgettable. They have like an X-ray vision for people. They see others. Like they read people instantly. They sense hidden motives. They understand emotional dynamics without being told. They spot patterns others overlook. They know what someone needs before they articulate it. They are basically, the projectors are the human equivalent of a lie detector mixed with a therapist, mixed with a strategist. When aligned, the projectors are genius. Projectors see the most elegant path, not the most exhausting one. While others brute force their way through tasks, projector can streamline systems, fix bottlenecks, organize chaos, simplify complexity, find shortcuts no one else would notice. They're not here to outwork anyone. You, as a projector, you're here to make everyone's work smoother, smarter, and more effective. This is why projectors often become either advisors, coaches, managers, analysts, healers, guides, system architects. Not because they chase that, but because it is natural for them. One of the rarest gifts in the entire human design system is that projectors have an attention quality that says, I am with you, I see you, keep going. Your presence makes people feel seen. People open up to you effortlessly. They feel supported, they feel validated, they feel understood on a level they have never experienced. This is the kind of presence that unlocks creativity in others, dissolves shame, heals emotional wounds, builds deep trust. Your recognition heals people. Your attention activates them. You magnify others' potential. Generators usually create energy. Manifestors, as I said, they initiate energy, but projectors amplify energy. Human design teaches that your aura locks onto people and guides them to their highest expression. In basically psychology, this aligns with motivational enhancement and interpersonal intuition. Projectors make others better, plain and simple. When someone is around you, they think clearer, they feel more capable, they make smarter choices, and they reach their next level faster. This is why people constantly come to you for advice, even strangers. Projector's path is not quantity, it is quality. You're not meant to dabble in 30 things. You are designed to go deep into one area and become a master. When aligned, projectors can develop profound wisdom, niche expertise, specialized knowledge, exceptional skill. Human design calls this penetrating focus. It is very powerful. You make the invisible visible. Projectors have a gift for articulating things others cannot put into words. You translate feelings, dynamics, patterns, confusions, and unspoken tensions into clarity. You say what everyone else felt but could not express. This makes you an incredible communicator, a natural teacher, a mirror for other people's truth. Your voice as a projector brings order to emotional and energetic chaos. And you have to remember that your magnetism shows up when you stop chasing, because projectors do not attract recognition by trying. They attract it by resting into their power. When you stop hustling to be seen, that's when people suddenly notice you. Because confidence comes from ease, not effort. And attunement shines when you are not over-functioning. That is even psychological. Your aura is not loud, it is magnetic. So people are really drawn to the quiet confidence of a projector in alignment. The projector needs to be in alignment first. You are a natural leader without even trying. Projector leadership is different from manifestor or the generator leadership. You lead by guiding, by clarifying, by supporting, optimizing, and understanding. People do not follow you because you demand it. They follow because they trust your vision. You lead through wisdom, not force, through clarity, not volume, through presence, not authority. That is your real power as a projector. Everything returns to this truth. You are here to see what others cannot and guide them toward what they cannot yet imagine. Projectors don't create the world through force, they shape it through insight. Human design says that projectors manifest by being recognized and invited. This does not mean waiting helplessly. It means that your energy lands best when others see you, as I said. So, people usually respond more strongly to you when you are respected, when your insight is acknowledged, when your wisdom is valued, when you are in spaces where people want your perspective. So basically, when you feel unseen or rejected, your amygdala activates. That is the threat circuit. When you feel recognized, your prefrontal cortex activates, which is the insight and your intuition. Meaning recognition literally changes how your brain functions. This is why projectors feel intuitive, poetic, wise, clear, visionary when they are invited, and foggy or drained when they're not. Manifestation, according to the human design, it starts with insight, direction, mapping the path, identifying what's aligned, choosing the right people, and positioning yourself where your gifts land best. So you're not meant to hustle something into existence. You attract opportunities by offering clarity and presence. So projectors manifest through attention, not effort. When your attention goes, your decision shifts, your behavior shifts, your micro expressions shift, your interpersonal presence shifts, your patterns shift, and this shapes your reality. Projectors have high observational intelligence. They have deep attunement, intense perception of others, and strong intuitive pattern recognition. So when you focus your attention intentionally, your entire behavior ecosystem shifts with it. Projectors bloom when they are seen. It's very important. Rest improves executive function and decision making. Projectors burn out quickly because they lack a sacral motor. And that, psychologically, introverted intuition can drain cognitive resources. So when a projector rests, their intuition returns, their creativity comes back, their clarity improves, their next steps make sense again. Here's some practical manifestation method for the projectors. Step 1 is to see the pattern. 2, clarify the vision. 3, align your energy by resting. 4, express your insight. 5, receive invitations. And 6, guide the unfolding, which is your leadership and influence. You manifest by being recognized, not by forcing yourself into places where no one sees you. Your power is in your insight, not your output. Your wisdom attracts opportunities. When you rest, your genius turns back on. The projectors in love and relationships. Projectors need recognition to feel secure. Projectors cannot thrive in romantic relationships unless they feel seen for who they are, not admired, not wanted, seen, recognized, understood. When aligned, the projectors, they need emotional mirroring, verbal acknowledgement, reassurance that their perception and intuition are valued. And when that doesn't happen, they shut down, withdraw, overanalyze, and develop hypervigilance. Projectors can sense what their partner really feels. This is the penetrating aura that they have, meaning they pick up the tone behind the words. They sense emotional shifts instantly. They know the partner's mood before they say it. They read micro expressions like subtitles. It does not mean that projectors are psychic. It makes them observant and intuitive. So since in a human design that projectors have no sacral motor, meaning extended interaction drains them. So they burn faster because their nervous system processes more data and their empathy system is always on. And their social engagement requires constant tracking. So relationships that are chaotic, inconsistent, emotionally intense, and fast moving can fry projectors completely. They need alone time, quiet, non-reactive partners, stability, slowness. And if they don't get that, they collapse emotionally and mentally. So in human design, projectors are here to guide, not force. In love, a projector is not meant to chase or initiate. They're meant to advise, to understand, to illuminate, not project their will. So in relationships, their natural strengths are observation, perspective, emotional intelligence, and clarity. If a projector starts trying to fix, control, or move the relationship forward, they fall into resentment, bitterness, overfunctioning, and emotional exhaustion. Projectors attract love best through authentic presence. A projector does not magnetize love by performing. They magnetize it by radiating their natural insight. That means people who make others feel understood, ask piercingly good questions, hold a steady emotional space, reflect others clearly, and offer wisdom gently. This magnetism is subtle, but potent. Now, the relationship red flags. These patterns drain a projector faster than a dead phone battery. Partners who do not listen. Partners who invalidate their intuition. Emotionally inconsistent people. People who take without reciprocating. High conflict dynamics. Constant noise, chaos, or emotional volatility. And being exposed to carry their relationship. All of this pushes the projectors into bitterness, self-doubt, and emotional shutdown. Now, what are the green flags for the projectors in the human design? Partners who recognize their insight, ask for their perspective, move slowly and intentionally, create emotional safety, value depth over drama, validate intuition, and provide consistent communication. These people unlock the best version of a projector, which is the calm, the wise, the radiant, the intuitive, the deeply present one. Projectors love best when they are recognized, when they are invited, valued, well rested, emotionally safe, not forced into chaos. They receive love when their partner sees them, listens deeply, honors their insights, moves intentionally, and respects their need for space. And they manifest love by aligning themselves, expressing who they truly are, by showing their wisdom, letting the right people recognize them, and not chasing anything. They finally attract the relationships that match their natural wisdom. The last type is the reflectors. The reflectors are the rarest type, the lunar beings. The why does everything feel different today? Reflectors make up less than 1% of the population. Not because they are special snowflakes, but because it's generally uncommon to have zero defined centers in the human design chart. They are open, perceptive, sensitive, environmental, energetic mirrors, emotional sponges, intuitive pattern readers, and deeply influenced by cycles. Let's start with the mechanics. Reflectors have no defined centers, no consistent energy source, a sampling aura that takes in, amplifies, and reflects environments. They're essentially walking barometers of the collective. Their version of the self shifts based on the people around them, the places they're in, the emotional tone, the timing, the lunar cycle. Reflectors don't become like others, they reflect others. Now, the reflector like traits align with high sensory processing sensitivity, high emotional absorption, strong interoception, high empathy, mirror neuron activation, and social reflectivity. These people experience shifts in identity, emotional blending, intuitive recognition, fast environmental reading, and strong situational awareness. Reflectors don't pick up energy because of magic. They pick up energy because their nervous system is wide open. Human design says reflectors sample others' energy to understand the environment. Psychologically, this means that they subconsciously mirror emotional and behavioral cues. This makes reflectors accurate judges of character, sensitive to dishonesty, brilliant at reading group dynamics, attuned to subtle shifts, and emotionally intelligent, unless overwhelmed. This is why reflectors can feel like, who am I? What is mine versus what's everyone else's? Their identity is fluid. Now, traditional human design says reflectors need 28 days to make major decisions. This means highly sensitive people need more processing time. They need emotional clarity. And overstimulation makes decisions feel foggy. Time helps them separate mine from not mine. The lunar cycle metaphor here means reflectors need to wait long enough to gain perspective. So, what are the reflector shadow traits? First is over identifying with others, losing their sense of self in relationships, in groups, or workplaces. They get emotionally overwhelmed. Too much input, they shut down. Reflectors expect magic and feel let down by reality often. Their identity shifts too much for others to grasp. This is why they feel invisible. They have abandonment wounds when no one understands their sensitivity. Their hypervigilance, always scanning the room emotionally and energetically. Now, what are their strengths? They're aligned when they have emotional wisdom. They see truth without trying. They know instantly when a place or a person is wrong. They understand people better than most people understand themselves. They show groups who they actually are, and they can shift into any role fluidly. Their lives flow in cycles, not linear progression. So reflectors offer perspective no one else has. Now, here's the real way reflectors are meant to move through life. First, they feel the environment. They check if the people or the place feels good. This determines everything. And then they wade through emotional waves. Their first impression isn't always the final truth. And then they revisit the decision during different emotional states. They see things differently, depending on the day. And then they make the choice only when clarity feels stable. Not pressured and not rushed. Patience is their authority. Now, the reflector identity, or let's say the moon phase personality. So the reflectors feel different day to day. It's not inconsistency, it is cyclical identity expression. Some days they are outgoing, they're wise, they're intuitive, they're social, and other days they're quiet, they're internal, they are contemplative. This is their natural rhythm. Reflectors are the rare mirrors of the world. They're sensitive, intuitive souls who reflect the health, truth, and authenticity of the environments around them. Their identity moves in cycle. Their clarity requires time, and they thrive in spaces and relationships that feel good, supported, and stable. Their power is not consistency. Their power is clarity through perspective. Reflectors are not meant to act fast. They're meant to see deeply. What are their shadow traits? Reflectors do not have weaknesses. They have openings. And those openings become shadows when they are in the wrong environment or around the wrong people. Here's the truth. Reflectors don't have fixed centers, so they take in identity, emotion, and energy from their surroundings, meaning they lose themselves in others. In shadow form, who am I? Becomes a daily crisis. They mirror their partner or friend so intensely they disappear. They shapeshift to avoid conflict or rejection. They lose their own preference. Their sense of self dissolves under someone else's personality. Now, what is the psychological match here? High empathy plus high emotional absorption plus identity diffusion is a known pattern in highly sensitive or emotionally permeable individuals. Human design says disappointment is the reflector, not self theme. Why? Because they see potential. They feel what's possible. And reality often doesn't live up. Shadow signs is expecting too much from others, disillusionment, feeling let down by environments, groups, or relationships, feeling like life should have been more magical by now. Giving up before trying because it won't work anyway. Reflectors get heartbroken by life more easily than any other type. Their openness means everything hits them at 10 out of 10 intensity. This is the shadow version of overstimulation, panic, exhaustion, sensory overwhelm, emotional burnout, shutting down because life feels too loud. And this creates anxiety, withdrawal, high sensitivity. Again, reflectors feel everything, even what is not there. They take on other people's pain as if it's their own. They absorb sadness, anger, fear, insecurity, stress, trauma energy, even. Reflectors can feel like a different person every day. The shadow version is thinking something's wrong with them, fear others will see them as inconsistent, or shame about not being predictable. Confusing personality shifts with instability, masking their fluidity to fit in. It's the lunar rhythm. But again, society shames anyone who is not fixed or constant. Reflectors absorb their environment. So if it's chaotic, they become chaotic. And the shadow signs is staying too long in toxic spaces, letting others define their reality, feeling powerless without external calm, losing stability when others are upset, and feeling off without knowing why. They often think, I'm broken. But the truth is, they are reflecting the room. Reflectors need time before clarity. The shadow version is making rush decisions to please others, regretting decisions, anxiety around choices, feeling pressured to know now. And they go into decision paralysis. The human design frames it as wait a lunar cycle. They need emotional distance and multiple perspectives. Reflectors often feel overlooked, unseen, misunderstood, like no one truly gets them, like they fade into group. Others do not understand their shifts or depth. This creates loneliness, emotional isolation, self doubt, abandonment fear. They often stop expressing themselves to avoid being too much or too confusing. So again, The rarest type, the 1% type, is the reflectors that fall into shadow when they absorb everyone else's emotions, when they lose their sense of identity, when they let environment dictate their well-being, when they push themselves to decide too fast, when they stay in places that drain their soul and collapse under overstimulation, feel invisible, disappointed, or misunderstood. Their shadows don't mean they're fragile. They mean they must honor their environmental sensitivity as a superpower, not as a flaw. Now, what are their strengths? Reflectors, based on the human design, are the 1% of the population for a reason. Their design is not built for conformity, it is built for clarity. Their gifts emerge not from effort, but from perception, attunement, and emotional intelligence. They don't lead by doing, they lead by reflecting truth. Here are their true strengths here. They see what others miss. Reflectors are energetic mirrors. So basically, they reveal who people actually are, the true health of a group, what energy is out of alignment, where dishonesty lives, where potential is hidden. They don't try to see this, it just hits them. It's because they have high pattern recognition and emotional attunement with environmental scanning. So they're the people who walk into a room and instantly sense the truth. Reflectors are tuned into tone, emotional temperature, social dynamics, atmosphere, unspoken tension, and underlying harmony. They can instantly tell if a workplace is toxic, if a relationship feels off, if a group is healthy, if a person's intentions are clean. This is not being psychic here. It is advanced situational awareness. When aligned, reflectors read emotions like languages, with subtle shifts, micro expressions, energetic dips, tone changes, repressed feelings. Their empathy is deep but discerning. Reflectors understand others better than others understand themselves, which makes them powerful mediators, intuitive guides, emotionally intelligent leaders, and stabilizers for groups. They can become what the moment needs for them. Reflectors can shift roles effortlessly. And in psychologically here, this is cognitive flexibility and emotional versatility. Most people break when the environment changes. Reflectors simply adapt. They learn through observation. Reflectors do not need to figure things out. They absorb wisdom. They pick up on behavioral patterns, on emotional truth, on what motivates people, what drains them, what supports them. So this gives them a calm, grounded, all soul vibe, even when they're young. They are the quiet person in the room who knows everything. They show the collective who it really is. Reflectors reflect the health of a relationship, of a friendship, of a family, of a workplace, of a community. If a reflector is flourishing, the environment is good. If a reflector is struggling, the environment is failing. They are the energetic barometers of every space they enter. Reflectors do not operate on instant knowing. Their intuition matures through cycles, phases, through revisiting and shifting perspectives. This gives them a 360-degree intuitive clarity that no other type possesses. They don't just see one angle, they see them all. They move with the moon, not with the clock. Reflectors flourish when they honor their natural timing. In slow decisions, in intuitive pacing, cycles of rest, cycles of clarity. This creates consistent good decisions, fewer regrets, deeper alignment, and long-term success. They're not here to be consistent. They're here to be accurate about people, about places, and purpose. When honored, they become the clearest mirrors of truth on earth. Reflectors in love and relationships, but reflectors love differently. Their openness, sensitivity, and perceptive nature makes them unusually intuitive partners, but also vulnerable to energy mismatch. Here's the breakdown. Their love style: deep, attuned, and fluid. Reflectors don't love aggressively or loudly. They love through presence, perception, and emotional mirroring. They feel their partner's emotions and intentions and insecurities, desires, and all the shifts. This gives relationships with the reflectors a depth that almost feels psychic. When a reflector loves you, you feel seen. Reflectors need emotional safety more than predictability. Reflectors don't care if your relationship is unconventional. They don't need strict labels. They don't need routines. They need one thing: a partner whose emotional world is stable and honest. If the partner is chaotic, their nervous system collapses. If the partner is grounded, they become luminous. Reflectors are amplifiers. So love them well, and they glow. They become who they're with. This is not a joke. Human design says reflectors sample others. Psychologically, it's they mirror emotional and behavioral cues. In relationships, this means they may mimic their partner's moods. They unconsciously adapt their behavior. They reflect their partner's wounds. They pick up their partner's habits, and they absorb stress or joy like a sponge. This is why reflectors must choose partners carefully. The wrong relationship can erase their identity. Now, they're shadow in love when they lose themselves completely. They can merge too deeply, over-attune, prioritize their partner's needs, mimic their partner's personality, suppress their own desires, and forget what they want. It's their design. When a reflector does not know where they end and the partner begins, the relationship becomes draining. So the reflectors need partnership, not possession. Reflectors need time to know if they want someone. They don't do instant clarity. While others get fireworks on day one, reflectors need time, space, cycles, shifting perspective. They might like you, then feel unsure, then feel connected again. Because their energy shifts with the moon. This confuses partners, but it's normal for reflectors. Love grows in phases, not leaps. Their compatibility, they thrive with grounded partners. Reflectors flourish with partners who are emotionally stable, consistent, patient, self-aware, low drama, supportive, secure in themselves. They partner best with people who don't take their shifting energy personally. If you can handle fluctuations without freaking out, then a reflector can fall deeply in love with you. Reflectors, based on human design, show who you are. Dating a reflector is like being handed a mirror that reveals your emotional truth. A reflector may unconsciously reflect your insecurities, your strength, your fears, your intentions. If you are emotionally responsible, this is healing. If you're not, reflectors terrify you. They're not doing anything to you. You are just seeing yourself. Now, what is the reflector's conflict style? Reflectors avoid loud conflict. It overwhelms their nervous system. In conflict, they withdraw, become quiet, try to process, feel everything intensely, take longer to regulate. They need calm communication, gentleness, emotional clarity, reassurance, and no yelling ever. Once they're safe, they speak truthfully, often with surprising wisdom. How reflectors give love? They love through deep listening, emotional presence, intuitive understanding, noticing subtleties, creating peaceful environments. gentle affection, and spiritual reflection. They are not the big romantic gesture type. They are the soulful connection type. How reflectors receive love based on the human design? They need partners who stay consistent, who are emotionally clear. Don't pressure them. Give them space. Don't demand instant decisions. Stay grounded, accept their shifting moods, and understand their cycles. Again, love must feel safe for them, not intense. Reflectors love gently, deeply, intuitively. They thrive with partners who are grounded, honest, and emotionally mature. They don't need intensity. They need clarity. They don't need pressure. They need time. They don't need someone to complete them. They need someone who doesn't drown out their identity. So, reflectors do not love with ego. They love with presence. The reflectors do not manifest by deciding or visualizing harder. Their manifesting power comes from alignment, environment, and lunar clarity. They are the only type in the human design whose manifestation depends less on action and more on conditions. Let's break it down. They don't create reality by pushing. They create reality by being in the right spaces, with the right people, at the right time. Manifestation for a reflector follows 3 rules. Environment shapes identity. Identity shapes emotion. Emotion shapes creation. Psychologically, that means environmental cues create emotional states, and emotional states shape decisions. Decisions shape outcome. If the environment is wrong, everything they try to manifest collapses. Their aura takes in reality before it creates reality. Reflectors need to observe, sense, feel, notice, reflect, and sample. This gives them data, intuitive, emotional, and environmental, before taking action. Their nervous system literally calibrates to what is safe and aligned. This is why rushing, forcing, pushing, acting now is dangerous for their energy. So human design says reflectors should wait, as I said previously, 28 days. Psychologically, that is waiting through all emotional states. In each phase, they receive a different form of clarity. The new moon, which is the hope, possibility, openness. Waxing moon, curiosity, experimentation. Full moon, truth, clarity, emotional awareness. And then the waning moon, release, correction, reflection, redirection. Reflectors manifest best when they identify the desire during the new moon, when they explore options during the waxing, when they get clarity during the full, and take action during the waning. This is a cycle, and this is their cycle. Now, here's the wild part. Reflectors don't get a sacral yes. They don't feel the manifestor spark. They don't feel the manifesting generator rush. They don't feel the projector recognition. Reflectors get neutral clarity, calm certainty, inner quiet, and subtle resonance. When something is for them, it feels gentle, soft, grounded, and unforced. If there's excitement or fear, too early. Their aura is just mirroring the environment. Neutrality is their truth. This is the reflector manifestation method that they can use to manifest. Step 1, set the desire lightly. Reflectors should not obsess or push. They simply state what they want. Second, clean the environment. Remove anything draining. Reflectors cannot manifest in toxicity. 3, watch what aligns over time. Let life reflect what is true. By synchronicities, invitations, people showing up, opportunities repeating, clarity emerging, emotional consistency. 4, wait for the moment of clarity. It will come during a neutral emotional state. 5, act only when the clarity holds steady across multiple days. And 6, protect your energy while the manifestation unfolds. Reflectors must guard the sleep, environment, emotional boundaries, and energetic exposure. Their sensitivity amplifies the manifestation process. And what they should avoid during the manifestation is rushing, is forcing decision, is staying in bad environments, is surrounding themselves with chaotic people, ignoring their cycles, acting from borrowed emotions, seeking instant clarity, and assuming excitement is alignment. So, how do they attract what they want? They attract through inner peace, clarity, emotional neutrality, staying authentic, honoring their cycles. People gravitate toward reflectors when they are centered. Reflectors attract effortlessly when they stop trying to be anything but a mirror. Reflectors are not here to force, chase, or perform. Their magic comes from something the world deeply undervalue: clarity, sensitivity, and perspective. They read people and environments with eerie accuracy, not because of mysticism, but because their nervous system is built to notice what others ignore. They don't move quickly, but they move correctly. They don't manifest through push, but through alignment. They don't love loudly, but they love deeply. Reflectors are lunar beings in a solar world, cyclical, intuitive, fluid, and wise. When they stop trying to be consistent and start honoring their natural rhythms, everything in their life begins to rise to meet them. Their blueprint is simple: choose the right environment, honor your cycles, trust the timing. When they do that, they don't just reflect the world, they elevate it. And this is the end of all the types of the human design.